Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10 of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. We're in the 1.1 career and we are getting ready to land a base on Minmas. This is what's being landed. Well, this whole thing's being landed, but this is going to function as a sky crane and then a departure vehicle for the pilot. We're going to deposit a scientist and an engineer on Minmas so they can do science and stuff. With that in mind, I need to start the clock. And let's go ahead and warp towards this Minmas encounter. There goes our ship. In episode 9, we launched this monstrosity. Took an attempt or two as we had to make some tweaks along the way. You know what I could do right now? I could fix this maneuver. Or fix this encounter with just a little bit of work. Look at that. Bring the periapsis right down. Get us on a more even plane with Minmas. Now, what do you want me to do here? I think it's just being glitchy. A little more of this. Negative 30. What? What? You know what? Oh, we're time warping. Time warp canceled. I'm just going to do this manually. I know what I need to do. We need to go face south. South, south, south. It's this way. And just adjust this plane. Like so. I have not yet activated these engines. So. I can go ahead and turn my RCS off and rely entirely on torque wheels at this point. I wish it was, you know what, you know what would be a really great enhancement to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program is if you could put a lock on a stage. Like, you know how you can turn staging on and off, you can actually lock it so it won't, you're not allowed to stage the next stage. It'd be nice if you could throw in any particular stage an auto lock. So like to proceed to the next stage, you have to unlock the staging first. Anyway, let's go ahead and activate our engines. And we are going to fix this periapsis encounter here. Getting ourselves on a trajectory with Minmas that is much more useful. About like that. It is seriously glitching out. We're definitely getting a Minmas encounter. I don't know why it's being so glitchy. Okay. Let me just warp to here-ish. And we will face RCS on. Make my life This way. Radial in. Yeah, I locked those gimbals. Radial in. So that can bring this periapsis even down even more. And it takes, the further you are away, the easier it is to do. Minmas is going to come screaming by us. There it is. There's Minmas. We have a rather inclined orbit. I'd like to fix that. Yeah, that glitch is really crazy. Coming in in an antigrade orbit around Minmas. That's neither here nor there. Okay. Get myself set up. But now we are in Minmas' sphere of influence, so that's not a big problem. Spend a little bit of fuel getting our plane changed where I want it. I'm happier with that. And then a little bit of juice here in the anti-radial node to bring this periapsis down to a usable height. "20 kilometers is good." Yeah. Yeah. All right, now let's do some math. Orbital insertion. "19 seconds. Where'd my calculator go? I have no idea what these engines do. Let's find out. 7. Now I gotta fix my orbit. They burn 7 units of fuel per second. They're pretty powerful, though. Not nearly as efficient as that poodle. That is for darn sure. Go ahead and settle on that more or less. 15 kilometers is fine by me. Okay. So I use 7. Liquid fuel. 657 divided by 7. 93 seconds. "28 seconds down, 28 seconds up." That's 60 seconds. That's going to be close. We might not have enough to pull this off. Well, we'll have enough to land it for sure. We just might not have enough to get the rocket ship back safely somewhere. And I did add a docking port. Okay. Do we have any science to get at this point? Well, we're going to be grabbing science from the surface of Minmas. Never mind. Just never mind. Gonna warp to our next maneuver. Lord Gaming invited some of his friends to join the channel. Thank you very much for that. Video shares and comments are the best way to get people involved. But mainly these are my episodes. The hard thing for me is that I'm not able to necessarily have a reliable live streaming schedule, but I can have a fairly reliable episode schedule. So I just choose to rather than record my episodes alone in the dark all by myself, I record them as a live stream. And worst case scenario, no one watches them, and it's the same thing. Do this from the map. Bring that right down. Okay, let's wait till we get closer to our periapsis again. Pretty much warp here. Whoa. Okay, at this point, well, one thing we need to consider is that an escape burn is going to be with a much lighter ship. I mean a much lighter ship. We're getting rid of all of this on the surface. Alright, let's pick the LZ. One of these lake beds. Right there. So, let's go ahead and warp around to here. Save. Once our ship is stable in retrograde. How much RCS do we have? Oh, we're finally using our big tank. Yeah, I have an international audience, so it's kind of hard to get people involved in the live stream when I'm recording. It was the afternoon to me, but it's like, 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever for a lot of the people that watch. Okay, we're burning retrograde now for the purpose of setting this thing down in one of these lake beds. We haven't even used half of our liquid fuel to do this. I am not worried at this point. Now, what's our braking maneuver going to look like? Hit the brakes. 19 seconds. All right. Zoom in on Minmas as close as we can. Get this thing on on the surface, essentially. It vanished. Thank you, maneuver. Really appreciate it. Thank you, maneuver. I really, really appreciate it. You stupid maneuver. Just stay there. Oh my gosh. Fine. Well, we know it's 19 seconds. Minmas is rotating underneath us. Okay, we are coming up on the point where we need to be facing retrograde and get ourselves ready to set down. We're coming in hot. All right, we're good. We are good. Need to flip it over upside down so I know things look like what they should look like. Okay, let's go internal. In the cockpit. Watching the instruments. Vertical speed is 10. We're less than 1,000 meters. We should go ahead and increase thrust to just change that. Thank you. .600 meters down at 6. .550 down at 7. 500 down at 7. Fuel reserves are looking fine. 400 down at 7. .300 down at 7. .200 down at 8. Throttle up. This is what it looks like. Down at 4. 150 down at 4. .100 down at 3. .75 down at 4. .50 down at 3. Any moment now, we're ready to touch down. 2 meters per second down. Touchdown. Little bounce. Get her stable. RCS off. SAS off. And we are down on Minmas with the base in tow. Give a quick save. Bob Kerman. Let's go ahead and move some crew. Bob, you can head down to the science bay. Bill, head on down to the science bay. Actually, we'll put one of those guys in the lander can in just a moment to set this thing over. But until then, quick save. Everything's looking good. We are ready for decoupling. SAS is on. Ready for decoupling. Meinica says, good game. Yes, indeed. Good game. Now, one of these buttons is supposed to be for forward and backward thrust. Control from here? Ah. N and H. Okay. That's what I wanted. Right. Quick save what I've got here. Luxor Plays and Ron have joined the channel. Hello, guys. I just sky craned this base and transferred some crew. Now what I'm trying to do is is decouple this rocket ship and land it. There we go. RCS off, SAS off. Sit there with the thing of gravity. Okay, so we have Valentina in the pilot seat on this thing. Just hanging tight. Things are looking fine. Over here, we're going to go ahead and deploy the gear. Oh, we need to transfer crew to the lander can. It's Kerbal Engineer. Hello, Kerbal Engineer. Now, which way do I need to rotate this thing? We are setting down a permanent Minmas base right now, Kerbal Engineer. I'm just teasing this thing over. Psh, boing. That's it. This guy can go ahead and transfer to the science lab. Let's get some science going. What do you think? Where did I stuff my science instruments? Here we go. Observe the mystery goo. Process it in the lab. Heck yeah. Log the temperature, process that in the lab. Log pressure data and process that in the lab. We can clean experiments. Heck yeah. Hang on. Transfer to there. Do a crew report. Stick that in the lab. Somebody needs to get out and do an EVA. Might as well be this guy. He's the scientist, right? Let go. Kersplat! Oh yeah, we need an appropriate flag out here. Come here. Come here, Bob. What was the name of this ship again? SimGamer TV. This is officially now called the Ice Cream Flats. First manned base on Minmas. Take an EVA report here. Keep that experiment. We're now upgraded enough to take surface samples, which we couldn't do before. Oh boy, this thing is going to be worth tons and tons of science. Let's just go ahead and thrust up here. And board. Transfer to the thing. Where'd my experiments go? Lab status is operational. Research is currently inactive. Why? The question is, why won't it let me research? Flipcraft, 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 flipcraft. Okay, fine. Everybody go here. Lab is currently not manned. Well, anyway, we have the whole point of us having a communitron is that we can transmit this experiment back. Now, transfer a crew member. Who's the scientist? Bob is the scientist. Transfer him to the lab. Now, review stored data. Stick it in the lab. Now Bob can transfer over to the lab as well. I said Bob can transfer to the lab as well. Yes, thank you. Okay. I guess Bill is so not scientist enough that he can't do researching? I don't know. Have you just returned them to like side with back with it? Shoot Jeb back to Kerbal and EVA. Yeah, I've done that a time or two. You make a great point though. So we have some science in the lab cooking. However, we can then grab a full set of experiments to bring back with us as well. This was... Who said that? Strub said that. We don't need a crew report. We've already... Oh, sure, we'll take a crew report, I guess. Okay, the other ship. This thing can be destroyed. That's a flag. This guy can EVA. Head on down. Grab a surface sample, take that, grab an EVA report. Okay, so an EVA report isn't going to do us any good. But we can hop over here, boink, 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 and turn the lights on. I should have built a ladder. Oops. To make my life easier on this. I want to take this data. I also want to take this data. I also want to take this data. Yes, we'll remove that data. That's fine. And now Valentina is ready to get back on board and depart. With a bunch of science in tow, what do we got here? Build a new surface outpost. Oh my gosh, that's nearly 500,000 funds for having completed this mission. And a lot of practical knowledge on dropping a surface outpost. Now this was Minmas, one of the smallest gravitational objects in the game. Duna is going to be a whole different animal. It's going to be a multi-staged, big, gigantic ship. Well, from here on out, we're going to do a landing montage, since we're already 31 minutes into this episode, and we have departed from Minmas several times successfully. So we'll just go ahead and save this. T for SAS. Warm up the engines. Head on up. Activate the reaction wheels. Head on over. Get ourselves ready for orbital flight. Goodbye, Minmas. We now have 474 science in the bank again. Total reputation is 370. Valentina is now level 2, having landed on the surface of Kerbal and coming back. So, really quickly, we'll wrap this episode up by fast forwarding to morning time and then go and spend our science. I know one thing I want. If we're headed to Mars, we need the nuke. 300 science for the nuke. Oh, I'm just shy of another one of these nodes. 45,000 funds. 1.1 million funds in the bank. Pardon me, our career is looking great. So that's going to be it for the episode. I'm going to hang around on the live stream a little bit longer, so stick around. But that's it for the episode. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next time when we figure out what's next. It might be a Duna flyby or something like that. But what I'm going to do right now is, with the live stream people, take a look at this mobile processing lab and see how much science it got while the craft was traversing back. So thanks for tuning in. Tune in next time. Goodbye.